Good morning, everyone. This is Curtis Hawks, Executive Vice President with Insurance Agency Marketing Services, and I want to thank everybody for taking some time to be with us this morning. Appreciate it. And we've got a very important topic, uh, which is tax diversification and having the conversation around macro tax planning. And I really think when you look at the marketplace and what's going on right now, there's never been a better time to have these conversations. Many of you probably saw even last night, the House passed a $3.5 trillion spending package. So um, we're going to be taking a deep dive into that and really how you can add tax diversification and those conversations into your practice and the benefit that means for you as well as your clients. And so before we get into that, I did want to take a couple of minutes to talk a little bit about some of the additional ways that IAMS is here to support your practice. First up is our new producer builders. As you can see there, we've got a number of different tier levels and a variety of different options available for our advisors, but this is a great way for us to meet you where you're at and help you to get to where you want to be. And so if you're a new producer with us or taking a look at IAMS, as you can see there, as you produce business, you can qualify for a variety of different things, whether it's marketing or marketing dollars or iPads or whatever, just straight up cash. But there's a variety of options on there. I would also mention to you as well that one of the cornerstones of IAMS is a high service level and customization of our services. And so if you're currently doing something right now that works really well for you, reach out, talk to a sales director over here. Number is 800-255-5055 and chat with them about it, and we can customize this for you as well. In addition to that, we've got our IAMS Business Builders. First up is our Referred Producer Program. And this is a great way if you're currently working with IAMS and you know somebody that maybe isn't quite happy with their current relationship, or you can think of some things that we're doing here that you think might be a benefit to them, send them our way. Not only will you get a $50 bonus when that agent gets contracted, but you'll get an additional $100 bonus when they place their first piece of business. And then on an ongoing basis, you'll receive additional marketing dollars or additional dollars on their production. You don't have to do anything. We'll take care of all the service and support for the agent, but it's a great way to have an additional revenue flow for your business. In addition to that, and actually, a good example of that is I have an agent just this month refer to another agent over, and the referral, he's already done 60,000 a target with us in the last 3 weeks. And so again, it's just he hasn't had to do anything. We take care of all the service, the quotes, everything. So it's a great opportunity. In addition to that, we've got our marketing reimbursement program. As you can see here, you can get an additional $100 for every 100,000 of indexed annuity premium that you write. And on the life insurance side, on the single premium life, it's $200 for every 100,000 of premium and $200 for every 10,000 of target premium on the flow side. And if you've got questions about that, reach out, talk to a sales director. They're going to be more than happy to chat with you about that and how you can utilize that in your business. Back office support, I think, is really been highlighted here over the course of the last year and a half or so. It is not easy with all the carriers having staff working remote. And what I would tell you is I think we've got one of the best service levels out there. And if you haven't tried our back office support, I would encourage you to do so, whether it's pre-sale quotes, illustrations, apps, those types of things, or processing new business or licensing. I think we do an amazing job, and we've got a really good team here of people that really understand making sure that we're doing everything we can to support that agent and help make things go as seamlessly as possible. And so again, I would encourage you, if you haven't tested us out, I would encourage you to do so. Firelight. So as we all know, technology has been a huge trend here recently. And so I did want to mention that we do integrate with Firelight. We've got that on our IAMS website. In addition to that, we have iPipeline as well. So whether you're wanting to do annuity e-applications or life insurance e-applications, you can do that all right off of our website. We make it very easy. We're also constantly adding additional carriers on there, so you can see we've got a number of companies that we're going to be incorporating as well. Creative marketing solutions. You can see that there's a variety of things that we do here, but I'm going to launch the first of 3 polls that we're going to do today. Um, so let me get that launched here. But I think creative really is the key word. One of the things that we've seen over the last year and a half is advisors have had to be more creative and more tactical about how they market their business. Um, there's a lot of things going on in the marketplace with employers and with states at various stages of are they open, are they shut down, and what have you. And so one of the things that we provide is a custom marketing analysis. And we've got again, as I mentioned, we've got a variety of resources. In fact, we've got over 40 different marketing programs. But with our custom marketing analysis process, what we do is we'll go sit down with the advisor and identify what their goals are, what their business looks like, what are the marketing assets that they have, and then put together a customized marketing plan for them. And I think most advisors, one of the things that they want in their business is balance. And there's really 3 components to balance, which is 1, having a defined goal, 2, a plan that you think is going to help you accomplish that goal, and then 3, the ability to modify that plan based off of what's going on. And so a marketing plan is a really good foundational piece that I think you need to have. So in any case, it's all complimentary. If you're interested in that, reach out, talk to a sales director. They can get that scheduled. But especially as we go into the fourth quarter, this is a great time to kind of figure out how do I want to close this year out and what do I want it to look like. So I'll go ahead and get that closed out here. Sticking with that technology trend, the IAMS website, we've got a variety of resources on there. So whether you want to quote annuities, life insurance, do e-applications, if you want to download paper forms, you can do all of that on there. We also have our sales resource library, uh, which is a wealth of resources. So not only do we have 75 plus calculators on anything and everything that you might want to do, whether it's 72T calculations or Roth conversions or what have you, you're able to do that right off of our website. In addition to that, we have literally hundreds of point of sale pieces, consumer facing point of sale pieces that you can instantly download off of our website. And it's everything from life insurance basics or annuity basics or what is a 401k to loan regime and economic benefit split dollar and everything in between. And so I'd encourage you, if you haven't taken a look at that, you definitely need to, because especially in today's day and age, presenting virtually is a bigger part of a lot of advisors' practices. And so having pieces that are optimized for not just virtual, but even if you're meeting people face to face is a huge leg up. Retirement Analyzer is a software platform that we make available to all of our advisors. And today we're going to be talking about STONEWOOD Financial, which is another software / marketing platform. We're going to talk about how you can get access to that as well. But Retirement Analyzer is a great platform that answers that question of, well, how long is my income going to last in retirement? And so what it does in a simple and straightforward way is articulate, okay, how much have you saved? What do you want to have in retirement? And then how long will this run out? And if you have an income gap and you are going to have a shortfall, when would you rather know about that? Now or when it's too late to do anything about it? And Retirement Analyzer is a great platform that supports going through that concept, as well as how do you reposition assets to make sure that you don't outlive your income in retirement. And if you've got questions about that, again, reach out and talk to a sales director on how you can get access to that completely free. IAMS Wealth Management, we've had significant growth with our RIA platform over the years, and right now is a perfect time. There's never been a better time. If you're thinking about adding asset management into your practice, it's a great opportunity, a great time to do that right now. Charles and his team do an amazing job. I would encourage you to reach out, talk to them, talk to Duncan and any of the team over there, and they can talk through with you, what they do, what their service model is, how it works, and can help you do that. And so again, if you've got interest in that, certainly feel free to reach out and speak with them. The fun part. So we have announced at the beginning of this year our Top Producer Summit, which is going to be a Mediterranean cruise. And we're really excited about doing this. Last year was tough because we're so used to being able to get one-on-one time with our agents. So we're really excited to be able to announce this for next year. Qualification period actually runs through June 30th of next year, and you can see up on the screen here, we're going to be taking a Mediterranean cruise around the boot of Italy. And so it's a great opportunity to really have an experience of a lifetime. It's going to be all high-end, concierge level, all expenses paid, but great opportunity to get together, and 4.5 million points to qualify for that. If you've got questions on it, reach out, talk to a sales director. They can chat with you about what you need to do to qualify and get you on there, but great opportunity. We're really excited about it. In addition to that, we've got our Escape to Paradise trip. This is in partnership with Athene, so based off of Athene production, but you can see we're going to be going out to Hilton Head. It's going to be a very nice, relaxing golf outing, shopping. I mean, there's just a litany of different things that you can do. Qualification runs through December 31st of this year, and it's 2 million of Athene production to qualify for that. And the other nice thing about that is your points that go toward your Escape to Paradise also qualify you for our Top Producer Summit as well. So if you've got questions, you can see here we've got the number up, 800-255-5055. But definitely reach out and speak with the sales director about that. And then lastly, before we get into the main event, our Life and Annuity Academy. We are very excited. We've got a couple of different events coming up here. One is at the end of September, September 29th through October 1st. And then we've got a second event, November 3rd through the 5th. And these are really an amazing opportunity to gain a significant amount of knowledge in a variety of areas. And so I'm going to launch our second poll here, but we work in the business all the time, and it's not easy to get out and work on your business. And the Life and the Annuity Academy is a great opportunity to do that. Not only are you going to be hearing from top producers, but you're going to be hearing actually a significant conversation about what we're here to talk about today, which is macro tax planning. That's going to be a big theme in the presentations, talking about how do we mitigate rising tax rates. And so going through a number of concepts and ideas around that as well. In addition to that, marketing and prospecting, those top of the sales funnel activities. You'll learn a variety of ways and programs that we have available to help generate that consistent flow of prospects that you're looking for. And so it's a great opportunity to get some really good education, be around other advisors, hear different ideas from people. And again, we take care of everything for you, bring you out, all of that. And so I'm going to shut down the poll here in just a minute, but if you have interest in that, certainly fill out the poll, and then we will have somebody reach out to you in regard to that. So I'll go ahead and get that shut down right now. And then one second here. So we have Tyler Randall. He's National Sales Director with STONEWOOD Financial on the call with us today. And Tyler's we've been working with STONEWOOD for just over a year now. And what I can tell you is with the advisors that we have using it, it really has made a profound effect on their business. Because when you talk about tax diversification and you talk about planning for unknown tax rate environments, you often come across two common misconceptions that people have, which is one, that they think they're going to be in a lower income tax bracket when they retire. And then secondly, in the context of tax diversification, well, what's the solution? Life insurance. And many people still have the misconception that life insurance is for just when you die. And the amazing thing about STONEWOOD is that it very effectively, in a straightforward format, addresses that first common misconception, which is, well, what if you're not in a lower tax rate environment in the future? How does that impact your retirement income? And then secondly, why would you look at cash value life insurance as a solution to that? And, again, Tyler's going to be doing a deep dive into this, but it's not just software. They've got the entire marketing suite around it. So whether you're wanting to do workshops or you need point of sale pieces, all of that, there's a variety of different resources. And so, as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, we know this has been a big topic. It has for years. It's grown even more so this year. Last night we have a 3.5 trillion spending package passed. So people are concerned about this, and this topic and this concept is going to continue to grow exponentially as we keep going forward. So Tyler, uh, appreciate you taking some time to be with us on the call today, and I will hand it over to you.
Did great. Thanks, Curtis. Appreciate that. And thank you all for making the time today. I think we just couldn't be in as Curtis said, we couldn't be in a better spot to have this conversation, especially with kind of the State of the Union. And what we're seeing in Stonewood, our company is just here to help you be a resource to make the tax conversation simple, to make the allocation to a tax-free investment, which IUL is a great alternative there, a simple conversation, both to market to the general public, clients and prospects, but also to present it, to make it simple. And as we all know, if we can make things simple in this business, it is impactful and it will sell, and you're going to be able to help more clients and prospects and drive more revenue for your business. And that's what we're all about. And we've been able to help advisors and agents be successful in this space over the last several years and hit record levels. And really the key is, as Chris mentioned, is really having that macro conversation, which what we're talking about there is the micro conversation on taxes is what CPAs do. And it's great. Every year they look and say, how do I reduce 2020 or 2021 taxes? And that's terrific. And usually that can be, lowering somebody into a lower tax bracket or saving a few bucks here and there. What we're doing and what differentiates our business and what our advisors learn to utilize effectively is the macro conversation. How do I help you, Mr. and Mrs. Client or prospect, reduce your taxes hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars in retirement, looking over that 30 years of retirement spending, the macro. How do we help reduce taxes in that realm? And that's what differentiates business. That's where we'll pick up new prospects and help existing clients and grow your business and really complete your business. And so just know the resources available to you through Stonewood. If you want to engage somebody, we've got a full suite of prospect and marketing books, seminars, webinars. I'll tell you a little bit more about it in a minute. When somebody says yes, they want to learn about this macro tax plan. How do I reduce my overall tax bill? Hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement. We have simple software that can take just a few minutes to create these reports, but you can show somebody exactly what their tax benefit and savings will be, what their income benefit will be, in a very simple, easy way. And then we do a very comprehensive training as you come on board to utilize these resources. We give you the recipe on how we do it and how to be effective for you and your team. We host live events and study groups and webinars. So if you're saying, I get it, this is the topic that I should be laser focused on to really grow my practice, you've got the resources to do it and the training to back it up for you and your team, so you don't have to leverage a bunch of your time to really be proficient in this area. So we have two programs that I'll share with you. One is called our Stonewood Select. It's focused on the active saver community, so those still in their careers, doctors, lawyers, business owners. The book we've authored there is called The New Rules of Retirement Savings, and it's so appropriate because the old rules would tell us save all your money in a tax deferred vehicle and defer all those taxes until retirement when you'll be in a lower tax bracket, and then take the money out. And that sounded like a great way to save for retirement. But as we all know on this call, we may never be in a lower tax bracket than we are today. And the new rules of retirement say save in a tax-free vehicle. Let that money accumulate so that taxes aren't an issue when you start to withdraw and you're not having to pay Uncle Sam every time you want to pay yourself or spend down your retirement. A tax-free option makes a lot of sense. And we have the ability to simply go, market to that demographic of 25 to 60-year-olds actively saving for retirement and show them why a tax-free alternative like an IUL makes a lot of sense over a 401k or 403b in a very simple way. Our Stonewood premium content, we target the baby boomer, the 60 to 75-year-old. And these are folks that have already done the old way of retirement. They've accumulated a bunch of money in a qualified account, and we share with them why converting a portion of those dollars from a tax deferred account to a tax-free can be a huge benefit to them, and really outline why to continue to defer hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars over the next 30 years, that macro tax time frame, into a tax environment which is going to be much higher is a tremendous amount of risk. The risk we think that needs to be addressed, and tax diversification into a tax-free makes a lot of sense. And I'm going to show you what each of those look like here, and depending on where you want to focus your practice, you've got access to all of these programs. But from a marketing standpoint, just know we have 3 books we've authored designed to engage. One is the Saver, one is the Baby Boomer. The New Holistic, our most recent offering, is really where the other 2 are focused on IUL as an alternative. The New Holistic is more of an Ed Slott type of book, a tax conversation without product focus. So if you want to utilize that and just be kind of a generalization of macro versus micro tax planning and how you can help, that book is great. Each one of those books has a PowerPoint presentation that you can give. So if you want to do a webinar, seminar, public presentation, not only do you get the content, but you have speaker notes and sample videos, so you can get very comfortable with making a presentation to the general public on this macro tax planning conversation very easily, very quickly. And if you want to do, ebooks or digital books, all these are available that way. TV, radio content, it's a very robust marketing catalog. If you want to do a drip email campaign to prospects or clients, we have client brochures and white papers all around this topic. So everything you need to really get interest in this tax-free allocation and macro tax planning is available. So let me take you through our software, and I'll show you when somebody says yes, what sort of reports you can produce and how simple they are for the general public to understand and for you to be able to present, quite frankly. On our STONEWOOD Select, if you want to just help somebody compare their 401k or 403b to a IUL from a tax standpoint and an income standpoint, we have very simplified, the reports are just a few pages, and really from those pages we present one that says, here's your tax savings if you use an IUL versus your 401k or 403b. Maybe it's 50 or 100 or $200,000 of tax savings. We do the same thing with income. Here's the income you will generate from your 403b or 401k when you hit retirement age, 65, let's say. And here's what the income looks like from a tax-free. And oftentimes you could see up to 30, 40, 50% additional income from those tax-free allocations. Right on, the numbers are right there and speak for themselves. So we use those tax and income reports to really get people's attention. The other thing that's very popular is we have a simplified IUL illustration. So instead of having these 50-page carrier illustrations where nobody knows what the heck they're looking at or how to present it or even what to present, you can plug in the relevant data into our software and produce a one-page compliant report that can be presented to a client, and it's clear and concise and everybody gets it. You say, here's the premium we're putting in, here's the value at retirement age, here's the income you can generate, here's the death benefit in case something happens to you prematurely, and it's all on one page. Very simple to understand, very simple to present, and again, it's compliant. We've done a lot of heavy lifting with the carriers so that that information has all the proper disclosures to be used as a supplemental, and it's easy to present and utilize. We've done the same thing with costs. That's a big tripping point or objection around insurance. We do a very simplified, compliant one-pager I'll show you in a minute that shows cost. So if you're going after the active saver community, you've got not only all the marketing tools, but some very simplified reporting to show a doctor, lawyer, business owner why a tax-free allocation makes so much sense in their portfolio. If you want to go after the baby boomer content, but baby boomers and the conversion of IRA or qualified assets, it's a huge marketplace. Our STONEWOOD premium content gives you everything that the Select offers, but the #1 report we run is we call a tax burden analysis, which I'll show you here in a second, which basically shows somebody their total tax bill, the macro tax bill over their 30-year retirement from their qualified account. What's the total taxes you're going to pay? Do you know on this call what the total taxes you're going to pay on your qualified account? Most people don't. And when they see the number, it's shocking. And when we can share with them, if we convert that or a portion of that money into a tax-free, that the tax savings could mean hundreds of thousands of tax dollars saved or millions that you can keep with your family instead of send to the IRS, it's impactful and it will get the attention and it'll differentiate your business. We also do very simple wealth and legacy planning reports. So if you have somebody that says, hey, I just want to leave a legacy, we have that too in our premium content. So let's take a look at a case study just real quickly so you can get a sense for what some of these reports look like. And this would be an example of a baby boomer. Jim's 60. He's accumulated $1.5 million in an IRA. He's currently in the 25% tax liability, which is an effective rate combining local, state, and federal. And our software just allows you to customize the projections for Jim very accurately for your client and also, and importantly, what you want to represent as an advisor or agent. And so in this case, we attributed about a 6% growth rate to equities and a 2.5% fixed rate on the bond part of the portfolio on a 50-50 portfolio. So it blends out to about 4.25. Those numbers are completely up to you, and you can input into our software whatever you feel comfortable with. From a tax standpoint, we have to make a projection on taxes. Where are they going to go? You could show a flat tax over the next 30 years. Is that realistic? Probably not. And so what we did is we said, over the next 30 years, what are taxes going to do? It's hard to say, but let's look back the past 2 decades and where were taxes 20 years ago? And they were about 30% higher than they are today. And so it makes sense that if we project taxes that we show Jim here going from the 25% to the 32.5%, a 30% increase. And then it also, what we know about taxes is when we die with these qualified accounts that have never been taxed, the beneficiaries usually inherit them at a higher tax rate. And whether that's through just a joint filer, husband and wife becoming a single filer, and that tax rate jumping up for that single filer, or if it's the kids starting to inherit. Remember, we can't stretch these things out any longer. It's 10-year pay, and oftentimes it's lump sum out on the distribution. When beneficiaries take it, it drives them into a higher tax bracket. So in the software, you have the ability to not only forecast a rising tax rate, and you can be very custom with that and how you want to do it, but you can show the beneficiaries inheriting the money at a higher tax rate as well, which we think is very accurate. So in this case study, we typically don't ask someone to convert all of their IRA money. That wouldn't make sense. But to say, Jim, to defer $1.5 million where you're really leaving it up to the IRS to tell you, we say it's, we talk about and share with you what we call our STONEWOOD stories. The IRS is a partner, a business partner in all of your qualified money. And right now, Jim, they're 25% partners. They might decide to be 40 or 50 or 60% partners in the future, completely up to the IRS. You have no control over it, which means when you take income for yourself, they're going to get a bigger piece of it. So it is a huge risk to just continue to defer this money into the future where they could be a bigger partner. So let's buy that partnership out for a portion of your money. Let's take $500,000 and get the IRS off our back, pay the minimum taxes that we can, which is 25%, and get it into a tax-free vehicle. So we're going to take this $500,000, this pie, and over the next 5 years, take $100,000 a year out. And what we'll do is withhold 25% or 25,000, send it to the IRS to buy them out of that piece of our qualified account and get it into a tax-free vehicle. And we're not lawyers, but once we're in an IUL, that's a private contract. And the rules to change private contracts are very hard to change, and they rarely do. We know that money should stay tax deferred and tax free on the way out, and that's important to know. And we've diversified this $1.5 million, not only de-risked the portfolio, but we've taken the tax man off of our back. And we just simply share with the client this report, and it's an impactful one. It's called our tax burden analysis. It shows the total tax bill for Jim if he keeps status quo on the left, keep doing what he's doing. He's on a pace that over his retirement years, a 30-year retirement, so from 60 to 90, he's going to pay approximately $420,000 in taxes on $500,000. And this is with some pretty conservative growth assumptions and pretty conservative forecast on tax increases. If we drive returns up or we forecast a higher tax rate, that number gets bigger and bigger. But I can tell you, when somebody sees that total tax bill, the macro plan, oftentimes they are shocked. And that's the whole intent, is to be able to kind of cold bucket of water over your head. Here's your taxes you're going to pay in retirement from RMDs and at death. And if you reinvest the RMDs, the IRS is going to tax those as well. So we got a plan for it. If you look to convert to a tax-free, one tax-free option is Roth. And if we convert to a tax-free Roth or IUL, we could minimize those taxes over the next 5 years down to 125,000. So we very quickly and easily showed somebody that we're going to be able to help you save, Jim, almost $300,000 by taking a piece, a third of this qualified account and tax diversifying it. And by the way, we have to use Roth when we do a one-pager like this for compliance reasons. It's not compliant to say convert to IUL on this page, but you can pivot there. And the great thing is, if you want to do a Roth annuity, or if you want to do Roth AUM, if you're licensed that way, or if you want to pivot to IUL, we show you the exact way to do that. It's very easy to say, hey, Roth is only one option. We prefer an option with a death benefit that makes us whole on the taxes you're about to pay if something happens prematurely, or for sure the death benefit that pays the tax at 143,000 in taxes at death. We want to cover that. And we also want to give you living benefit options and market protections that you can't get through a traditional Roth IRA. There's lots of ways and easy ways to pivot there. But the impact of this, it's a number one report we run, and it gets a lot of attention. And by the way, we do the same. It's a very similar report if you're comparing 401ks and 403b savings to IUL. You want to be able to share that tax benefit. We share the tax benefits like this on a very simple to understand one pager right up front. And once somebody understands, okay, I need to be working with you because you're doing this macro tax planning, and they get the tax benefit, our next reports we would run is the income side of things. Let's compare the income now that you would potentially get from your IRA if you continue to defer it and take a systematic withdrawal, which is what most Americans do from their IRAs. Let's take a look at what kind of income you could get on a net basis. Let's compare that to a Roth income, and let's compare it to an IUL income, just so that you can see the three different options that are available to you. So in this case, we're letting this $500,000 grow from age 60 to 70, grows from 500 to 671,000. And then we just do it's a very simple, we try to keep things simple. We say, what is the maximum withdrawal that $671,000 would support to make this client's money last for 30 years? So just a real linear look is $33,000 a year. That's the max withdrawal you could take. And of course, once we identify how much we can take, then we've got to pay taxes on it. So our net isn't 33, it's now $22,000 a year. And the total benefit then is $651,000. So the whole intent of this one-page report that you're looking at is to say, here's about what you can expect from an income in your pocket annually and total benefit from this $500,000 if you just keep deferring it and systematic withdrawal. Let's compare that to a Roth. And if we look at the Roth account, when we convert it, remember we're sending $25,000 a year over a 5-year period is this case study. You could do it over a 7 or 10-year period, up to you, but this case study is for 5 years. The net is $375 that goes into the Roth account, which grows to $503,000. And then again, the maximum withdrawal that the 503 could support for 30 years is $25,000 bucks. But we don't have to pay the taxes because the income's coming out tax-free, and the total benefit's $731. So what did we do? Now we have two reports we're able to lay side by side for this client or prospect, and they can see, oh, you helped me when we allocate to tax-free, increase my income and also increase the total benefit to my family by about $80,000. I get it. You showed me a $300,000 tax savings by converting to a Roth, and now you're showing me an income benefit. And it's very apparent. The numbers really speak for themselves. And the last thing that you can run is an IUL. And keep in mind, we don't have any preference which carrier you use. We work with all the top carriers that are out there, the majority of them. And we've, you can get into our software and input any of the, run your IUL contracts any way you want, return numbers, what product, completely up to you. You plug it into our software. And what we would do next is say, okay, here's the IRA income, here's your Roth income. Let's run an IUL contract and look and see what the income would be if we let us use an index universal life and use participating loans. And that's the power of the IUL, is that participating loan, which gives us some market upside and the ability for us to get a higher income. And in this case, of course, the conversion amount is $375,000. So what this is a 5-pay, $75,000 a year, which is funded into the IUL. The value at age 70 is $430,000, and the income, according to the illustration, using the participating loans, is about $34,000 a year. And what really jumps off the page here is the total benefit, because now we're picking up a death benefit to the heirs to cover taxes on distribution, and that gives us a total net benefit of $1.2 million. So as we compare, especially as we compare the IUL to the IRA, look at the income increase. We're about $10,000, $12,000 higher annually, about $1,000 a month more in income, and the total benefit is double. That is powerful. And remember, we're not saying take your full $1.5 million, Mr. and Mrs. Client, and allocate it to the IUL. We're saying tax diversify a portion. Here's your tax benefit. It's 300 grand. Here's the income rationale, because we can get a higher income and total benefit, and let the numbers kind of speak for themselves. So this is actually what on the left there, you can see the one-page income report. Instead of having 50 pages of carrier illustration that tells a hard story to understand, really, and what to present, you have one page that says, here's your premium invested, here's the value at retirement, here's the income you can generate and the total benefit, all in one page. And the small print is the carrier compliance. So just know you've got compliant ways to make these conversations simple, both from a tax and income standpoint. Last report I want to share with you here just in our time is our cost report, because this is what people will Google on IUL. When you present an option for them around insurance, they'll Google insurance, and the number one thing they'll see is it's too expensive. Don't ever do it. And what you have the flexibility to do is plug in any of the carriers that we work with into our cost software and compute an average expense for that contract over the life of the contract. So just the same way that when somebody thinks about expenses for their 401k or their mutual funds, they always think about it in a percentage form. But most of the time in an IUL, we don't illustrate it that way. We illustrate dollars coming out of the contract, and there's no other instrument where somebody, a client or prospect, sees fees like that. So we worked with the carriers to make this compliant, one pages, the disclosures at the bottom. But the average cost for this case study that we built out is his cost is 1.3%. How does that compare, Mr. and Mrs. Client, to what you're doing now? It should compare very nicely. And what do we get for that cost? Well, we get a $300,000 tax savings by allocating tax-free. We showed you how to increase your income almost $1,000 a month, and the total benefit almost double. Not to mention the living benefits that you're going to need when you're in your 80s. Not to mention the death benefit, the market protections that you get from the IUL to protect that asset and decrease your retirement risk. This is a very reasonable cost, and I think you would all agree it's a very simple way to share with it. So just know that there's a lot of reports. I just wanted to share with you a handful of them here. But if you want to do the same thing, compare an IRA, or excuse me, a 401k or 403b to an IUL or a tax-free, we have those reports. We have very simplified legacy reports and the simplified IUL illustration all on one page, just to make it very simple and easy. And we just don't give you access, log in a password and leave you hanging. We do a very extensive training and coaching. So once you become a STONEWOOD member and you're utilizing these resources, we have a Select Academy, which is a digital training that'll take you, if you're doing IUL, it'll help you do more. If you're just new to it and you wanted to find a simple way to be introduced, it'll take you through, it's a digital training that'll take you through and help you be very proficient in this space in a very short period of time. Not only IUL, but specifically how to use the resources you just saw effectively in your business. And that training is available for you and anybody on your team. So if you want to help other agents or advisors that are on your team be proficient in this, we can get you the teaching codes. They can go through the digital training. You don't have to leverage your time or utilize your time to help your team be proficient in these resources and start using them right away. We also provide a monthly study group and roundtable. Our study group is really around relevant industry topics that change so that you can be sharp in your business around AG 49A or 7702, or as things change, we like to address those in that group. The roundtable is really sales focused. What marketing pieces and resources are being effectively used right now, and how do you use them? And this is something that we archive all these, make them available to you. And then for our select users, we do one-time individual onboarding where we'll take you and your team through a tour of our site, how to customize material, and how to utilize the resources so you can get off to a fast start. Our premium content skipped a couple there, provides a one-on-one coaching and access to our live events. We do a quarterly IUL Masters Academy and Innovate. It's included in our premium content. We also provide a STONEWOOD team member to do one-on-one coaching and case design and case consultation. So that again is really targeted for the conversion of IRA assets to IUL. So typically our premium content is $2,500 a year. It's discounted through our relationship and partnership with IAMS down to $2,200. So it's a pretty nice discount. And we just try to help you find a case like Jim here that's doing a 5-pay, $75,000 a year. Revenue is about 40 grand on something like that, which is a terrific ROI if we just find one. And if you think about clients over the age of 60 with qualified money, or prospects over the age of 60 with qualified money, it's a huge marketplace. And typically, when we start identifying them, building out these tax and income reports, starting to do macro introductions to them, you'll find a funnel of this where now you've got a really significant flow of business. And what we find is if this is a prospect coming on, not only do you typically win the life business, but you pick up the annuity business. And if you're licensed to do AUM, you'll pick up the AUM. And it doesn't take a lot of these to really be transformational to a business. So that's really what I wanted to share with you. I'll kick it back over to Curtis here to closing comments, but really appreciate your time. I think we've got a great opportunity to get these resources in front of prospects and clients, help a tremendous amount of people, and really drive a lot of new revenue for your business.
Well, Tyler, I appreciate you taking the time with us today, and you did a great job kind of giving us the overview of the program. What I'm going to do is I'm going to launch the last poll that we have for today, which is if you have interest in getting access to the STONEWOOD platform. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, we have a number of advisors using this. And these types of sales, and Tyler, I'm sure you'd agree with this, but it's a little bit different in the context of there's a little bit more education that goes on. And so the ability to take these concepts and ideas and make them simple, straightforward, and into an easy to understand format drives the increases in the closing ratios for advisors using this. That simplify the illustration module. We use all these platforms quite a bit. But interestingly enough, that simplify the sales illustration piece, we have a ton of advisors using that because you take a 50-page illustration, you put it into 4 or 5 pages, and in a very short, simple, concise idea, here's what you put in, here's what you get out. And so again, there's a variety of components to this. And so what I would tell you is if you have interest in the platform, make sure you fill out engage with the poll. We'll have a sales director reach out to you or give us a call. You can actually get access to the new roles, the STONEWOOD Select platform for free as a producing agent with IAMS. And so reach out, talk to a sales director that can help you with that. With that, I think we are actually able to wrap up a little bit early today. So again, everybody, we appreciate you taking some time to be on the call with us today. Tyler, appreciate you going through everything with us and hope everybody has a great rest of their day today.